How's the Bobby match?
I don't see it. Oh, I see a clock, and I see the message on our screen, folks. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen of the Irish Rugby Banter Group and those watching on YouTube, a very good morning, good afternoon, and welcome, good night, I should say, and welcome to you all, wherever you may be watching us, whether you're watching us live here in the group on YouTube or on replay. You are all very welcome. Please offer us up your opinion, type it in, it'll pop up on screen, and we'll read it out or we'll talk about it if it's relevant to whatever we are, or we might even ignore it, Matt. Yes, you're quite right. And we'll read it out. We will read it out in the context that it was written. Okay. And someone else says straight away, hello all, evening all. There you go. Now, I've just heard a click on my headphones, and the man of mystery from Kerry, he's got a new phone. Let's see how long he lasts. Before I introduce everyone, let's hear from Danny Brosnan, and let's.
We need a drum roll for this.
We do. Hold on, has anyone got a drum roll? Do we have a drum roll? Hold on. There he is, Danny Brosnan. Oh God.
Hey! Oh yeah.
Well, we can see. We can see part of him. We can't see.
Hey. All right. Okay. So anyway,
we can see the bit he wants.
We can see.
Exactly. I'm here.
Oh, all right. Would you shut the fuck up? You're annoying me already.
Let's see how long he lasts.
10 seconds. Hold on. Joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is our man in Glasgow, Mike Reedy. We have Matt Boland. We have Peter Martin, and welcoming back from the Dust Bowl of Wi-Fi signals, we have Mr. Danny Brosnan, and we have money on as to how long he will last. God knows when or how long he lasts, but we shall see. It's like his sex life. We don't know how long he's going to last, but I put my money on. I put my money on 30 seconds. Gentlemen, how are we all? Are we all well in ourselves?
We're all great.
Amazing.
Hey, it's 15 seconds longer than you, Burke. That's all you need to know.
And
That's a
still
lot.
can't understand it.
Yeah, the closed captions haven't come up yet, so we'll wait for that to translate what Danny just said. Right now, just comments flying in here. Hello, evening all. Yes, good evening all. How are you? Right, lads, I've had 7 espressos and I'm ready to fight with any Munster fans. Okay.
Dara Weston.
I don't know what. Dara Weston. Oh, I know what
That
Dara
has to
was
be Dara.
Yeah, no, Dara was messaging me before we came on here. Here we go. Hope his Wi-Fi works. So do we all.
So do we, kind of.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Someone else says, welcome back, Danny. There you go. And someone else now, the last one, and then we start. Healy Ray, Mobile Networks to the rescue. There you go. Brilliant. Okay. Right, gentlemen, as always, topics, which there were loads. It was some week for news and breaking news and movements and blah, blah, and so on and so on and so on. Danny, seeing as you're back, I'm going to come to you first, seeing as you're one of the this is kind of Munster related, but I'm going to ask you first, seeing as you've been missing for a while. Boogate, Raj getting booed on the screen, Alan Quinlan on off the ball, and a few others casted aside as nothing other than pantomime stuff. So what? But other people took big offence to it, saying it was disgraceful, it was disrespectful to an Irish rugby legend, shouldn't have been done, typical Leinster supporters, blah, blah, blah. What was your take on it, Danny? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, to be honest with you there, I'm not really for it. I'm not really kind of into... I'm not really into certain players and coaches being booed and stuff like that in the stadium. I think it's not really in what we consider part of the game. It's not about it kind of takes away from the whole respect aspect of what the game is about. I can partially understand why with some of the comments he kind of making trying to get in Leinster's heads, but still, it's, to me, it doesn't sit right with me. I'm not the biggest fan of Eddie Jones or anyone like that, but still, if I was in the stadium with them and they came up on the screen, personally, I wouldn't do it. So it's not something I'm overtly happy with personally anyway, regardless of who the player or coach is.
All right, okay. Peter Martin, was it disgraceful, disrespectful, or like Alan Quinlan said on Off the Ball, it was just a bit of pantomime and just get over it?
I think those who are offended by it or have a very thin skin, to be perfectly honest. Like this is part, like there's a legacy that has came into last weekend's game that has been there since last year, and all the other matches, the matchups between La Rochelle and Leinster, and it is the Munster Leinster rivalry, the parochialness, the tribalism that's there. Yeah. People jumping up and down, getting very irate about it. Yeah, okay, I can see their point. Yes, could be conceived as being disrespectful, but like ultimately, that's all it is. It's a little bit of, I suppose, I won't use the word banter, but there's rivalry there. If you understand the feeling that's been there for years, there's always been that touch and niggle between Munster and Leinster supporters, and I suppose the primary where it has primarily arisen is between when there was a rivalry there. I suppose most recently, more so than anything else, when you had Johnny Sexton and Rowan McGara, and Johnny's exited the scene for the time being, and O'Gara has come back bigger, better, bolder than ever as a reincarnation of a potentially world-class coach. Fair play to him, but at the end of the day, this is what people will always try to hang their hook on something. And I think what they're hanging their hook on is the little bit of Rog versus Leinster versus Sexton. It just adds a little bit of spice. If we didn't have that, you could argue that the game might be a little bit less spice to the particular fixture, to the fact that Leinster beat them again and did it so convincingly. If we didn't have it, like what would have caught the imagination? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, Pete. Totally agree. Matt Boland, any thoughts on this?
Look, if you inevitably, if you say Anthony, you're going to fucking insult somebody at some point. You just, no matter what you do. He's fucking gone already. Look, there he goes. Jesus Christ.
He's still a mic.
Matt, anyway,
you know what I mean? If somebody will say something and somebody will get offended. So at the end, like I personally believe proper Leinster supporters probably wouldn't do things like that. Again, it's a bit of banter. It is like, as Peter has alluded to, there's a massive rivalry between Munster and Leinster over the years, fucking going back God knows how long, even in the 90s, early 2000s, when fucking Munster used to thump Leinster and we couldn't get a point in edgeways. And that kind of shifted then from most recently, I suppose, to La Rochelle, where we've actually come up short against La Rochelle in two finals, one by 3 points and one by a point. Fans were just getting excited when they saw him on the screen, and sure, what else are they going to do? They're not going to cheer him because that's not going to make any sense in the stadium in that type of scenario. So to get a rise out of the crowd, to get a bit of a banter going, I suppose, they gave a little bit of a boo. I mean, Jesus, Ronan O'Gara doesn't give a shit. That's going to brush off him he doesn't give a feck. And I guarantee you, he was actually on the pitch at the end, walking around, shaking all the Leinster players' hands. And I guarantee you, there was fans there cheering. So you didn't see that. So you just don't see everything in games. So bit of
true, very true. Okay, Mike Reedy, any thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, Rog kind of has put himself in a position where he's become a bit of a pantomime villain, with regards to Leinster and that over the course of the last few years. And he's put himself in a situation that he maybe shouldn't have, really, He should be professional enough now not to start taking his team to Cork and stuff like that. And he's created a situation for himself. And it kind of, I won't say it backfired on him. And it was something and nothing. It's something I wouldn't personally do. I would never boo anybody. It contravenes rugby ethics for me. But that being said, it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek fun, I think, and I think that's exactly how he took it. and he just put his thumb up. I saw a picture of him, even when the camera went on him and he was getting booed. But and like Matt just said, he just, when he went on the pitch and shook hands with all the Leinster players after the game, behaved in a proper professional manner, and that's all you ask for. I don't think this. I think there's something and nothing, and there's a big listen. There's always somebody trying to make a fucking angle here where they can create a bit of controversy and create something.
Like I said, somebody will always get offended.
Yeah, there's always someone. There's always someone. Anyway,
they're usually vegans.
If you're not easily offended, you
and scrum halves.
Scrum half. Yeah, very good. Okay, folks. A couple of comments there. Ian Gilbert is joining us from Madrid. How are you, Ian? Good morning, all from sunny Auckland. We're immersing ourselves in Super Rugby here since arriving. Up the Blues, our adopted team for our live rugby fix. Okay, very good. Enjoy Auckland. I don't know. So Low won't bother heading to Thomond, huh? I don't know what that means. Christopher, hi Chris, doing well. Thanks. Hope you're well. Okay. This is where's this now gone? Sorry, this one. Raj is king of the Panto. The whole Cork thing was a wind-up. He loved it, and everyone in the Aviva loved him in the green. Yes, we did. As a season ticket holder since Donnybrook days, I would consider myself a true supporter, and I booed Raj. But it was joking boos like Father Ted. I didn't break any rugby ethics, and I'm still a real fan. Raj isn't upset, so why are all the Cork fans going mad about this? It's not all Munster fans, just Cork, one like my in-laws. Okay. Megan Augusta is back. How are you, Megan? Welcome back. Okay. Now, gentlemen, we'll park that. Now, the other thing that's a few things caused news in the group over last week. Mike Reedy, I'll go around the other way. Dan Sheehan signed a central contract. Gibson Park is soon to sign a central contract. Both deserved of such. Mike?
The only thing that surprises me about either of those named players is that they're only signing contracts now. I mean, Gibson Park has been the best scrum half in Ireland for the last 3 seasons at least, and should have been given a central contract. And my opinion would be central contracts should be given to all 15 almost guaranteed first name starters. The player that's regarded as the best in that position in the country should be getting this. They should have 15 and reviewed every year. And if you're not good enough the following year, or you're injured or whatever, your position goes to somebody else. I think that's the only fair way of doing it. And for Dan Sheehan and Gibson Park, 100%, they should be. There's a lot less. There's been several players with less entitlement over the years, I think, than either of those. Both of them are top 2 in the world in their respective positions.
Okay, Danny Brosnan, those 2 players deserved of central contracts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially Sheehan anyway, Gibson Park as well. Like both of them have been playing are practically nailed on starters in that 15. So I'm not surprised you got their contracts. To be honest with you, I kind of agree with Mike. Maybe should have got them last season, just to kind of keep them from Houseboat thinking of me going farther afield or anything like that, but totally deserved.
What about Danny as one of 2 Munster men on the panel? What about Jack Crowley? Has he done enough yet?
No, not yet. Not in my book anyway. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a good player for Munster, but he hasn't nailed down that 10 jersey like Sexton has or O'Gara has before them. Those 2 lads, they deserved their central contracts. Sexton did. I think, not sure about O'Gara. If he had one, he probably did. But those lads were nailed down starters. That 10 jersey is still a little bit open. You could have Kieran Frawley coming in maybe at some stage, taking over. Sam Pendergast could be in maybe 2-3 years down the line. But until he's proven himself enough in the jersey, not now. No.
I would say he should.
10 jerseys is a bit open in my book.
Well,
so
it is, but that's why I'm saying review it every year, and if the goalposts move in consequently, you lose your place to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I agree with that point, but I just don't think he's deserving of the contract just yet.
Okay, Peter Martin, Dan Sheehan and Gibson Park deserved of central contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody in the country could argue that they don't deserve them. Yeah, look, I think, there's 13 players apparently who've got central contracts. Like, I would say the IRFU, okay, people would have said a couple of years ago that I remember at the time, I think Van der Fleer won the World Player of the Year. He was still in the provincial contract, and people are going, what the absolute Jesus, what a travesty. Look, I think at IRFU are getting it right as regards being slow to hand out the central contract. It shouldn't be basically on and off like a light switch. I'd have to disagree with Mike's view on that.
Okay,
it should be basically it has to be earned and significantly earned. So like I wouldn't have an issue with Crowley getting another year. Like, even if it's a case that he's, if you want to create a criteria that he's basically, they have to start a significant number of internationals consecutively, we'll say for argument's sake, and marry it to some level of criteria in performance when they are playing. But I wouldn't have an issue. I suppose the one little thing would be is, like, obviously Gibson Park is 32 years of age, and there might be a slight issue about, well, why are we giving a guy at 32 years of age a central contract, particularly when it's contrasting with Sheehan, who's basically almost 10 years younger than him.
Because Conor Murray is gone, so that made room for him to come in and free up money.
Yeah, well, I suppose, look, at the end of the day, Conor Murray's no longer first choice. That's just it. That's the natural scheme of things. So yeah, look, I think obviously the model is that the top 15, as Mike said, the first 15 should be all on central contracts probably. I think that's perhaps slowly but surely, in a very methodical way, that's the way the IRFU are perhaps moving. Like, James Lowe is still on a provincial contract.
I was going to ask you about him.
Yeah, well, he's the same age profile as Gibson Park. He's 32. Like, there's Bundyaki. He's 34. Bundyaki's on a central contract.
Yeah.
So, look, it's one of these things. As we've alluded to on our previous topic, you're not going to please everybody. You're going to offend everybody. But I would say that the IRFU are steering the best course as regards the central contracts at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks, Pete. Matt, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the IRFU give out these central contracts in order to hold on to players that they deem essential or irreplaceable to international rugby standards. So in that view, like, you look at the likes of Dan Sheehan and Gibson Park at the moment would be within that select group of essential players that we have. In terms of Jack Crowley, he's not just there yet because he hasn't got enough experience just yet, and that whole 10 thing is a little still open because of the recent departure of Johnny Sexton being so close in the past that they're probably allowing players to develop to see who will deserve that, but inevitably he probably will get it based on his form. But they have to allow the players to prove they're essential to the contract and to get it, but the likes of Dan Sheehan and Gibson Park, arguably the two best players within their positions in world rugby at the moment, without a doubt. So
your man, no, you're right. I agree with you, Matt. Your man, the Welsh fella, what's his name?
Stephen Jones.
Dan Bigger. No, Dan Bigger. He was on I saw a clip on Twitter. He was on some BBC podcast, and Dan Bigger basically said that if Antoine Dupont didn't exist, Gibson Park would be the best 9. Brosnan, are you fucking snorting coke there or something? What's that fucking noise?
No, I'm boiling the kettle in the background. I'm making myself coffee.
I did see that, Peter. Yeah, and look, he's probably not far wrong, to be honest with you. At the moment, Antoine Dupont is not playing international rugby; he's playing 7. So there's definitely a question there for Gibson Park being the best 9 in the world right now.
Yeah. Okay. Brosnan.
Yeah.
Brosnan, seriously, will you turn the fucking kettle off?
Okay, be fine in a second, can you, kids?
That's the next thing to be replaced. Apart from his Wi-Fi, it's the kettle next, Peter. This could snowball. I'm worried already.
I swear to God, he's only fucking back and he's causing
No,
all sorts.
I said to myself, I'm going back and coming back with a fucking bang. Simple as that. I might as well cause as much havoc now and get out of the way, okay?
Right, okay.
You still have the power to kick him off, so
work away. Crack anyway, Danny. We have to say that.
Right, some.
That's just to come from multi fucking midgets of a scrum half, you know that.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, cool down, fucking Heedy, right? Right, a couple of comments. Mike and Danny are letting the side down. Where's all the complaining about how Leinster are getting all the central contracts that we saw on the form? Is Murray still on a central contract? No, he's not. Neither is Stockdale, someone's asking me. Neither is Peter O'Mahony. I'd imagine Casey will replace him when his time expires. Okay. Here's another one. This central contract thing seems to have... riled up a lot of people. Central contracts availability and form. They're not like medals minis rugby. Everyone can't have one. Yes, that is very true. Dara West, I'm not sure Conor Murray signed a provincial deal with the IRFU top up according to media reports when he resigned recently. No, Conor Murray does not have a central contract.
No, he's just got a 1 year.
Neither does Peter O'Mahony. The fans from all 4 provinces need to be honest. Do they want the best players representing Ireland or equal representation? Because if they want equal representation, they will not get the best players, and Ireland will simply become a feeding ground for other teams outside Ireland, and we will be playing with the fragmented test team. That's a very good point. How many Munster players were on central contracts in the early 2000s? More than Leinster players, folks. More than Leinster players. Mm-hmm. Again, people not seeing Ireland, but their team. Someone else says there something about you, Matt Boland. Thanks for teaching me how to learn from an absolute pro like you. Don't know what that is. Matt, are you having an affair or something?
Definitely not.
We're growing fan club we are going
on. Joe Lyons, always best players for the national squad regardless of province. Yeah, good point, 100%. Joe. Yeah, absolutely. Megan, it's like the good old days. Read Burke arguing with Brosnan. Okay, thanks, Megan.
Back together, boys.
Yeah, I've hacked into Brosnan's kettle as it's on the Wi-Fi. It's a cunning plan. It's a cunning plan to keep him mute as the subtitles are working. Dara Weston, good man.
Classic.
Megan Augusta, I love that. Megan Augusta, glad I haven't booked a night there, lol. Okay, fair enough. Right, that was that. A quick one. We're not going to spend too much time on this because at the moment it's just simply rumour. Peter Martin, I'll come to you first. Aaron Cruden, rumour to Ulster. Any point? I don't know.
Well, given the fact that Ulster are basically in the halfpenny place financially, I'd say it's the greatest load of BS, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
And that's all I have to say about it. Like, it's just off the charts. Then again, I would have said Jordy Barrett was off the charts as well, but there you go.
Right, okay. We're coming to that. So grabbing at straws there, Pete. With Cruden going to Ulster, would you say? Or no?
Someone on the wacky backy.
All right, okay, fair enough. Matt, Aaron Cruden to Ulster. Rumours.
Yeah, well, I hope it's just a fucking rumour and it stays as a rumour because that'll be another pointless sign. Plain and simple.
Okay, no, fair enough. I would tend to agree with yourself and Pete. Mike?
As far as I'm aware, Aaron Cruden hasn't played any rugby since last year.
He's still playing in Japan.
Is he actually playing though? Or is he?
Yes, he's still playing in Japan. Yeah,
Aaron Cruden from four years ago, maybe. But what? They've just got rid of Billy Burns. They didn't consider him good enough. Is Aaron Cruden going to be?
Mike, they've no 10. They've Nathan Doak, who's a scrum half playing.
I'll tell you who their 10 could possibly be. Richie Murphy's son. He's only 20 years of age, but if he's good enough, he's old enough as far as I'm concerned. Watch this space. Watch this space.
He's good, actually.
Jack Murphy, by the way. That's the boy. That's the boy that they'll have.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Fair enough. Danny Brosnan, with your big fucking Maxwell House head in you. Go on.
It's Nescafe, excuse you. It's Nescafe, not Maxwell.
Nescafe. What the fuck is Nescafe?
Nescafe, Jesus, can you not understand culture?
No.
You not pronounce your F's. Nescafe.
No, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the English language version to come through here at the moment.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah.
I'm a culture and I can't understand it.
Go on.
Yeah, that's Tipperary culture, you know. That's what that is now. That's completely different lingo.
Parochial now all of a sudden.
Jesus Christ.
Oh Christ.
Fucking
just ended now. Aaron fucking Cruden to Ulster. Waste of time or what?
Complete waste of time.
Right, Grant.
Did you better outside and Finn Russell?
Well, I wouldn't dare you with that now, to be fair.
Well, hold on. Jesus Christ, fucking people, can we hold on, someone says, can we even afford him? I presume that's about Cruden going to Ulster. Well, you've got about €27 left in your account. So there you go. Ian Gilbert from Madrid. Best players should have been chosen with the possible exception of Cooney when he was in form. Yeah. Totally agree, Danny. I'm looking at rugby long enough to see Ulster having 8 in the starting 15. Munster just as many, and now Leinster. But I supported Ireland regardless. Love my province, but Ireland above all. Okay, that's fair enough. Quickly, lads, do we think it's a coincidence that Palm signed a new contract for Munster after La Rochelle knocked out of Europe? His wife posted something about France would have been nice. So there must have been negotiations with some French club that didn't pan out. Don't know about that.
No idea.
It'll come out in his book.
To France, I don't. Yeah, exactly.
When Peter O'Mahony reads a book about, writes his book entitled "Gardening Leave" or something about, or
something to do with gardening. Yeah,
that'll be the title. No one understands you, Danny Lal. Yeah, well, we understand, Danny.
I understand me. That's all that matters.
We all understand you, Danny. Okay, now, folks, let me go to the biggest story that dominated the group, the media sphere, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you call it. Geordie Barrett signed a short-term contract for Leinster. It was from December, or I think it's December coming to the following June. He's not staying. He's contracted to New Zealand Rugby, the Hurricanes, I think, or whoever he plays for. So he's not staying. He's only here for 6 months, right? People lost their fucking shit about this. And I was reading some of the comments, and I just want to read before I come into it. Mike Reedy, I'm coming to you first. I know mercenary is top of your agenda here, but I just want to read a comment. And tailor this into your answers, lads. Someone said the IRFU systematically failing the 3 other provinces. Ulster financially cannot afford to have a high-end 10. Munster's URC winning team has been dismantled. Healy, Carberry, Orgy, Frisch, although Frisch could be staying, Connacht cannot compete at the top level of the URC. Meanwhile, they give Leinster another central contract with Dan Sheehan and freeing up the 450,000 needed for this signing. It goes on, but I'll just end it at this. There is no fairness in this system. As a result, rugby and interest in the sport outside of Leinster and Dublin is heavily declining. Mike Reedy.
Well, I couldn't comment on whether interest is declining or not. I don't live in Ireland, but I'll be honest with you. What for? That's my opinion about signing Geordie Barrett. What for? I mean, people are saying he's going to fill in during when the Six Nations is out. Where is he going to fill in? What about young Osborne? What about Jimmy O'Brien? What about Jordan Larmour? Players that may not be involved in the Six Nations when Mac Hansen comes back.
What? 2 of those players aren't 12s.
No, but they're not 12s, but well, okay, Osborne can play at 12. Listen, Leinster are not short of players, and I would much prefer to see young fellas coming from that played in last year's 20s or the year before's 20s, rather than bringing in a guy from New Zealand. It's unnecessary. Do you know what? He might come in and do a great job, but not for Irish rugby, and that's everything for me is about what the benefits for Irish rugby, and that's not a benefit for Irish rugby. It's not. I can't see how it possibly could be. Now, there was a time when when Irish rugby needed your players like that. Like when Howlett came to Munster and Thorne and those boys came to Leinster and you had Pinar at Ulster, brilliant, and also players that can qualify like Gibson Park, Lowe, Bundyaki, CJ Standard. Those players that could eventually qualify to play for Ireland, but it's a luxury that I don't think Leinster need, to tell you the truth. But other than that, you know what, he come in and he look good, he will. Oh. I hope he does. I really hope he doesn't come in and do a fucking flop job like some other guys have recently. That's all. That's as much as I have to say.
Matt Boland to Leinster.
Another pointless signing, in my opinion. Like, why sign somebody for 5 or 6 months? It might take them that to settle within a team, to settle with the lads that he's playing against, to train. I do agree with what Mike is saying there. I don't understand the logic in this at all. It's, for me, they should be looking at, like, we saw what happened when Hugo Keenan was injured in the Six Nations. There was no replacement. So I understand Leinster are probably looking at going, okay, look, we have a chance to get somebody in that's a good 15 for a short period of time. But again, what's the fucking point? Like, why not have some young lad, Ben O'Connor? I don't know, that one name that comes to me. Do you know what I mean? That.
Well, it's only short.
I know, but it's
only
short. But I know, but it's pointless. It's fucking pointless. Like 5 months, 6 months max, and then what? He fucks off back to New Zealand. Like,
what about the experience he might teach to some of the young lads like Jamie Osborne?
Well, there's that, but like, that's literally all. If he's there for experience, why is he playing then? Why is he not just a coach, or why is he not just like?
Well, he got apparently he got way more money offered to him to go and play in Japan, but he wanted to extend his rugby playing. The money wasn't his motivation. He wanted to come and play with Leinster.
I heard in his interview that he was talking and he wanted to get back to Ireland because he'd spent time as a kid and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. Fair enough, I understand, and I admire him for the fact that he's turned down a massive deal in Japan. But like, at the end of the day, who wants to go and play in Japan? In all honesty, like, it's literally, it's only money. Like, you're only playing for money. You're not playing really at a really top end level league or anything like that. It's, again, pointless for me. But I can understand the background and the logic of Geordie Barrett. He said he wants to come back and make connections with people that he met here when he was growing up and blah blah blah. But I still think it's a pointless signing for 5 or 6 months.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Mike. Peter Martin, a follow-on from that comment I read out. Rory O'Connor in the Irish Indo. The part of a piece, just a paragraph taken out of his article. He said that the Leinster signing Geordie Barrett is a crushing blow for their rivals, who must fear they'll never close the gap. What do you reckon, Pete?
Well, look, I suppose just before we get into it, I suppose have to look at the history of previous All Blacks who've come here. Every other previous time an All Black has come here, be it Christian Cullen or Darrell Howlett, they've been on the downwards. They're in the final lap of their career, right?
Yes.
I think that's fair to say. The significance of this, obviously, is that, as was rightly pointed out by Paul Williams, Welsh rugby journalist, is that this guy is very current. He's very much part of the All Black system, setup, playing squad, whatever. This guy is current. So for him to come over, albeit for 5 months, is a hell of a bit of negotiating by Leinster / IRFU. That's, I suppose, the first thing. The second thing about it, and this is where I 100% agree with Matt, is that I do not understand the fucking point of it. End of story. Like, I think, no offense, Peter, but you're on about the experience that Jamie Osborne and all these young folks are going to. What about the fucking experience they get off the current, most of their teammates that are in the Irish squad? Like, that's just incredible. You know, like most of these guys, the young guys coming through the Leinster Academy must be pinching themselves and saying, these are guys I see on TV. There's 10 guys, you know, walking ahead of me with their flip-flops on, hitting into the gym, and they're all internationals. And I see them, you know, on the TV and blah, blah, blah. So I think the whole experience thing for players is horseshit. That's my view, because, you know, we're number 2 in the world now. Like, you know, whatever weight you want to put on the rankings, we're a fucking good rugby playing nation. We don't need experience from, we don't need to keep pandering to or feel that we should pander to or look south of the equator to see what's New Zealand doing because it's just cutting edge. We're fucking good at what we do.
Yes,
that's
we
it.
are.
Don't get me wrong now, before anybody starts getting uppity. Yes, we have not taken an awful lot from New Zealand. That's absolutely correct. Yes, have we copied or aped their system with the franchises, and we've got our 4 provinces. Absolutely, we have. But we are doing an awful lot right ourselves, so we don't need anyone else to show us the way, or you know, the next what's coming on, what's next on the curve for the game.
What about Ninabar then?
Well, you see, this is a different thing. This is a coaching piece now that has come out, and I can address that because what I saw, there was an interesting piece by Carrick Blake on X, Twitter. Anybody who is familiar with Carrick Blake, whatever, he's an analyst guy, he's a nerd, blah blah blah, great guy and all this. He basically pointed out there's this statistic about defensive movements, I think he called it, or positioning with and without the ball, and basically where Leinster were in the 67th quartile for that, whatever it is, it's a metric for designing for rugby, for defence, rugby, ball and hand and all that. We're 67th last year. They're 3rd this year. So, you know, we don't know exactly. I'm paraphrasing a guy who's an analyst.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
You know, that's it. But he basically, we're seeing the significant change that a coaching tweak has made. My own view is that, you know, it's a more aggressive style of defense compared to Lancaster's. It was a more passive. Lancaster's style was all about basically having more men in your feet than the opposition, and being patient and making your tackles and then getting the ball and so on. Ninabar basically wants the likes of Ryan Baird and Joe McCarthy, big physical guys, get the fuck after that ball and create hell. Make the ball carrier shit his pants when he has it, because he knows he's going to get absolutely thumped. And going to get.
They did that against La Rochelle to great.
Exactly, and I think Bernard Jackman as well also showed a clip where it showed in the previous years when the Skeleton basically was able to, with his significant size, hold on to about 3 Leinster players in a ruck at the same time. And you know, that just basically, I suppose, emphasizes the point about, you know, power versus patience and so on in the defensive piece. So that's just nailing that Ninabar piece. The only other thing I would perhaps say is the other news that's come in under the radar today a little bit is Tyler Blaylandal, before all the Munster folks start getting a bit excited, is coming in.
That's my next topic. That's my next topic. Would you stop jumping ahead, please? Thank you.
Right. Okay. I'll shut up for now. I'll shut the fuck up for now, and I'll come back in. All right.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Danny Brosnan. Yeah. Thanks, Pete. Danny Brosnan, your thoughts on all this?
It's somewhat of a point deciding. If he's there for a year and a half or something, fair enough. But like, as Matt was saying, by time he's more or less settled in the squad, he'd be packing up and leaving. No, he might be able to offer some sort of different ways of doing things and giving players perspective on that, but there's not a whole pile of him being there. There's enough squad there in Leinster coming through and there at the moment in that back line to make you wonder why. Why would you bring him in? If they're looking for a short-term sign that was any good, they might have got some maybe Irish qualified player or something like that, but not sure. It's a big name signing. Fair play to them for getting them, but somewhat pointless for a sake for 6 months.
Is it Danny? I'm repeating what I saw on the tweet machine.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a case of Leinster doing it because they can?
Pretty much.
Wouldn't entirely disagree with that, but you go back 20 years ago and it might have been the other way around. He might have been saying, "Oh, look at Munster getting a lot of your big name players and stuff in, and all this stuff in." This thing goes in cycles. It's just the way things go. Leinster can do it now at the moment because they're the best province in Ireland, hands down. So if they can get a few big players in, I'd love to see them there longer. Perfectly Irish qualified, earn that. Don't see the problem. You can get him in.
I'll tell you when I can see a problem. When he takes fucking
Mike Reedy having a problem with something. God,
I'll tell you when I see a problem. When he takes Henshaw's place in a starting 15 in a Heineken Cup final. If he was to start ahead of Henshaw, then that's a problem.
Why would that be a problem?
Why would that be a problem? Because he's not Irish. That's why, and we want and you want. Okay, I know from a Leinster perspective, you might think, but is he better than Henshaw? I don't think so, and he's certainly not better than Hugo Keenan at full back. So,
but sure, Mike, if you go back, you got Brad Thorne, all these sort of people who.
Yeah, but they were needed back then, Peter. That was totally different kettle of fish.
I know, but maybe Leo Cullen sees something that, or the powers that be in Leinster see something that we need Jordy Barr for something. Because don't forget,
if it turns out to be that, then fair enough.
I know, but you could have a midfield with the Six Nations and all that sort of stuff going on. You could have a centre of the park partnership between Barrett and Osborne, or whatever, something like that.
Well, if it turns out okay, I'll be the first to put my hands up and say it's great. But I hope it doesn't backfire on Irish rugby. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. No. Fair enough. No. I'm just as always, gents. I play a bit of devil's advocate, as you're well aware. I think the cynic. If I had my cynic hat on, I would say it's very much a money thing with Leinster, that it would sell more jerseys, it would get more tickets into stadiums, it would do all that, because I still think that sport in general, not just rugby, all sport is still suffering from the COVID hangover. They still are in, they lost our bollocks when that was on. That was 2 years, nearly 3 years, 2.5 years of that going on. No tickets sold, no nothing. And I think it'll take another year to level the books and get out of that. That's what I think is going on anyway with this. But it's also, it's a marquee signing, and it'll be great for the kids to go to games and get their photograph, their selfies with Geordie, and adults as well, so on and so on. It'll be great when he's in Autograph Alley in the RDS, and kids go in and see him and all that sort of stuff. I think overall with the good and the bad, I think it's for both parties, for Geordie and for Leinster. I think it's a good thing for the optics. It's a 6-month contract. It's a good thing for the optics. He wants to keep playing rugby. He's not interested in the money. He wants to come to the best club in Europe. So why not leave him at it? So off you go. There you go. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Peter Martin, you were trying to get in. My next point was Tyler Blandall joining the coaching ticket for Leinster. Munster fans went into fucking meltdown this week with the signings and then to top of the central contracts. A lot of their arguments were invalid. And then Blandall came into the scene, and this just fucking annoyed a lot of them. What do you think of that?
Well, just coming back to Jordy Barrett, I suppose the thing just that there is a link there. Leyland Dahl is attack coach for the Hurricanes, and obviously Jordy Barrett is coming from the Hurricanes. So there could be a little bit of method to the madness in having Barrett there, potentially playing as 12 or 15. It could be basically, I suppose, maybe the grease there to help, get Leyland Dahl in. We're obviously familiar with, Leyland Dahl's way of thinking, what he wants to do, how he sees attack, his vision for how the game and attack should be played. So I would say that. I'll just see a tweet here from Bernard Jackman, basically saying, just met a friend that knows his rugby, and he said to me the best signing in Irish rugby this week was Tyler Leyland Dahl will become part of some coaching team under Leo Cullen. Guy Easterby having some season off the pitch.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay. All right, Pete. Sorry, were you finished there, Pete? Or
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great job. Matt Boland, Leyland Dahl going to the Leinster coaching setup because Goodman is moving up to the Irish setup.
Yeah, well, look, Goodman's gone up, as you said, to the Irish setup. So there was obviously they were looking to get a young coach in, and Leyland Dahl has been coaching down on Hurricanes for the last four years, I think. So he's plenty of coaching time under his belt. Yeah, I think it's about 4 years. I think he only played in Munster for 5 years, so he's not really he's nearly coaching as long as he was playing for Munster. So I don't really know why they're getting their knickers in a twist down there, but he wasn't the greatest of players anyway. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah.
Look, he's coaching, so it's great.
All right,
it is.
Danny,
as Peter Martin said, it's a good bit of play there by as Bernard Jackman says, it's a good sign. Coach.
Okay, Danny Brosnan, Leyland Dahl. Danny, are you with us? Are you asleep?
Yeah,
Danny?
Yeah, I am. Listen, no, I think he'd work out as a good sign for Leinster, right? Especially with maybe Bart coming in as well. It'll add some bit of a New Zealand perspective thing. But yeah, to be honest with you, if they signed him because they think he's a good fit for the coaching staff, and he kind of knows the whole setup of how they want to play, I suppose, considering he was in Ireland long enough with Munster. So all the best to him in Leinster and coaching.
Okay, thanks, Danny. Mike Reedy.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an excellent, and I mean I have absolutely no problem with people like him, like Leyland Dahl coming and coaching, because that's bringing something to the game in Ireland. He's obviously got pedigree if he's been at the Hurricanes for four seasons. He's going to. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on New Zealand rugby, club rugby, but if he's held down a position there for 4 seasons, he's doing something right, and he's obviously been worked in Ireland before, so he knows the setup here, and I think he'll be a good sign, like a good for Irish rugby as well as we go forward, because obviously there's a heavy influence from Leinster with the Irish setup, so I think it'll benefit Irish rugby. Yeah, definitely. I don't have a problem with it, and I don't know why people are losing their shit. I just can't get my head around that anyway. But there you go.
Okay, I'll come back to that in just 1 sec, Mike. Just a couple of comments. I presume this is about Jordy. Lad who grew up in Meath signs temporary contract to play for his childhood home team. Amazing how no Munster fans seems to remember when they had enough Kiwi mercenaries to do their own haka when the All Black played them years ago. That's a very good point, and I suspect that's Dara. Ulster can't afford a top 10, so going by recent decisions, they probably sign 2 5s. Very good, Ian. Thank you, Ian, from Madrid. This is a financial and needs to be looked at like that Leinster will be playing arguably more games next season in Lansdowne, and having an AB playing is something that will drive bums on seats and build the brand. That's kind of the point I was making. Yes, Facebook user, that it's good for audiences, the optics and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, you're right, bums on seats. That's exactly what it'll do. Before we go into the games, gentlemen, just one thing that popped up that I just want to go back to it, because I don't really want to go into too much detail, because it is a kind of a complex issue. Matt, I come to you first on this. There was accusations thrown at the IRFU that they were being unfair to the other three provinces and they were favouring Leinster. What would you say to that?
It's nonsense, because like, you've to go back to the 90s and the early 2000s when Leinster weren't even a fucking percentage of the team that Munster were. So it's like a cycle. Do you know what I mean? Like, every team, and even the Ireland team, have gone through a cycle where we were the whipping boys of the Six Nations for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And through the cycle and through years of building grassroots rugby that certain coaches did in Leinster setups to build that kind of grassroots thing, that Ireland have now done a cycle and now have good players playing right now, currently. It's similar to Leinster, Munster. Like, Leinster and Munster were always the two main teams in Ireland, the two better of the provinces. Now, I'm not saying Connacht and Ulster are shit. Not by any stretch of the imagination. They are good play.
Basically, you are.
Yeah, but they. You gotta remember. Like, Ulster won a Champions Cup. They won the very first Heineken Cup. So, like, you know, technically, Connacht are the only team in Ireland that haven't won a Champions Cup. So, that's pretty good pedigree in my opinion of how the Irish provinces perform in European rugby. I mean, we all know how hard it is to win a Champions Cup, and the fact that 3 out of 4 of our teams have done that is amazing. But again, it's a cycle. It's all to do with cycles. Gladly, Leinster are at the top of their cycle now at the moment, but who knows what's going to happen in 10, 15 years' time? Fuck it, it could be Connacht that are fucking baiting everyone. Do you know what I mean? You don't know.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, but just as an example.
I mean,
James Brennan will be Taoiseach or something like that.
James Brennan, him and his fucking dad jokes. I swear to Jesus.
He
gives me migraines.
I know. I'll tell you, Peter Martin. Just briefly, Pete, because we've got to talk about the games that happened. Are the IRFU being unfair to the other three provinces?
Oh God! Again, you can't say no without bloody offending people.
Go on, offend people. We don't care here. We offend everyone. Go on.
Look, exactly. It's a top-down approach, you know, when it comes to, you know, the central contracts and, you know, the awarding of where the money goes. I think just, you know, trying to take a helicopter view, I think the timing of what's happened this week probably has put the IRFU in a bad light overall and has basically got people's backs up in the likes of Connacht and Ulster and Munster to an extent. Look, the reality is we know that the Leinster setup is supplemented significantly by the schools. That's just the way it is. Are there private schools in the other three provinces? Yes, they are, but they're not at the same competition level and perhaps obviously finances perhaps as those in Leinster. I think just, you know, it's stating the obvious, really. I feel anyway, like Munster in particular did a good job of promoting the club in their province. They've done a particularly good job historically. A lot more of their players are club players have come up through the system. We know the likes of Gavin Coombs, Liam Coombs, and there's countless others there as well. I think perhaps it's just really it's I think it could be a question of nailing your colours to the masses. So, right, guys, where are we going to direct development funding going forward. And obviously, look, the IRFU are going to have a say anyway, but I think Munster just really need to get their, get better at what they're doing in many ways. And that's just, I suppose, not just Munster, but Connacht and Ulster. Ulster, I think, have a stronger school system perhaps than have a school system, the second strongest school system perhaps in the country after Leinster. Like, I remember for years as a child growing up watching on BBC Northern Ireland, you'd see the RBAI or Inst or whoever it is, Methodist, playing at the Schools Cup rugby, and I absolutely loved it. Played at the old Ravenhill, and it was fantastic. Ulster perhaps need to basically have a look at what's coming through their system there and decide, are we going to basically go all in the schools, or are we going to basically develop the club game a little bit more? Look, it's sobering stuff for all the provinces, really, because it just concentrates the mind and concentrates where money needs to go.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks, Pete. Just a comment there. Leinster are not short of players, Mike, but we are short of players in certain positions like props and centre. We saw how unsuccessful playing Harry Byrne as a centre was. Harry Byrne is not a centre. And if Keenan gets injured, we only have inexperienced young lads to fill in. We've said it here numerous times. We've only got one dedicated fullback. It's like someone with a few young apprentice mechanics bringing an older, more professional mechanic in to help tutor them. Frawley could become a world-beating 15 under Barrett. Okay. Sorry, just something else there. It's no coincidence that players don't want to go to Japan since Eddie Jones has gone back there. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay. Why not talk South African ones? Well, I think it's kind of they're all kind of thrown into the same argument, South Africa, New Zealand, whatever. As we're missing a major point here, Barrett would be here when Keenan is away on Autumn Internationals or Six Nations. It's hard to learn from Irish. It's hard to learn from Irish player in Leinster when they're not there. Darragh Weston, yet they don't want to have him as coach. Sorry, folks, it's just a load of second comments here. We just stop asking me to hide the current comment. But wait, hold on. Sorry. Final point of Barrett. It's the deal that if Cian Healy gets his 5th European Cup medal, he goes back to the Hurricanes with Barrett to get a chance to do the double. Yes. Lions here, Pete Henshaw deserves a start. Okay. Did I get that wrong? Okay. Another one. Geez, lads, did Brosnan talk this much sense last time he was on?
Yes, I did.
Has something changed in the last few months? Time to get the hashtag broadband for Brosnan campaign back on again and add buy the subtitles add on for StreamYard.
I actually thought it was Danny's kettle that was talking earlier on.
Fuck's sake. Leinster jersey sales are suffering because the Castor jerseys are muck. They're setting off at the home and change gear, so I can only assume that there'll be 2 new jerseys. Yeah, okay. Last one here before we finish up, or we go on to the games quickly. He was another sick note, but no issue with his coaching in Dublin. Sorry, Danny, I just want to come to you briefly. Are the IRFU being unfair to the other provinces?
No, because as I said, Leinster are the best performing province at the moment.
Right,
hands down. So, 20 years ago, different story. Could have been the other way around.
Okay, Mike?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the other provinces have to stop feeling sorry for themselves and get their finger out and fucking start competing. Like, they have, basically. Like, it's all very fine to cry and whinge and say, oh, we're being fucking hard done by. But they're being hard done by because they're not fucking producing the players and performing the way they should be if they want to be respected in the same way. Leinster have the best, club side. There's no, probably in the world. I would be confident in saying that. And unless somebody comes and beats them, that's good enough for me. And they have the facilities and the conveyor belt coming through with all the schools, etc. But Ulster, like Peter alluded to there, they've always had good, decent schools, and they should be producing. They need to stop feeling sorry for themselves. The fucking players can't be all of a sudden that bad. Let's see them. Let's bring them through and give them a go. There's no point in whinging about it. Munster have, to be fair, to their credit, brought through quite a lot of young lads in the last year in particular, since fucking the South Africans went. And that's why that is the sole reason I don't want any of these fucking foreigners, mercenaries.
All right, okay, fucking Jesus, Michael Farage.
It's not. I've nothing against foreigners in general, but
you always have to fucking.
They're stopping Irish young lads playing.
Chairman of the fucking English Defence League here. Would you shut the fuck up about that? Jesus Christ almighty.
He doesn't set the fence anyway, that's for sure.
No, he doesn't. No. Jesus Christ. Yeah. How are you? Right. Okay. We are over the hour mark, so we'll just go through the games that happened. Mike Reedy, I'll come back to you just to get you out of the way first because you tend to waffle on a bit. Okay. Claremont v Ulster. Claremont winning that convincingly, 53 points to 14. Did you see that?
I saw the highlights of it, and there wasn't any highlights for Ulster, to tell you the truth, apart from Timney's try and very little else. Well and truly beaten. Very sad to see, but that's it. Sorry, that's as much as I don't much to contribute to this one, I'm afraid.
What's wrong with you? You feeling okay?
No, I get the message. You know, I fucking don't want to be waffling.
I.e., he's offended.
Oh my God, he's offended. Oh my God, I'm so offended.
No, he's not offended. He doesn't give a fuck.
He's sitting there at the bottom lip out.
Yeah. Danny Brosnan, did you see this game, or was there? Well, you didn't see it. Okay, your Wi-Fi broke your fridge or something, or your kettle or whatever the fuck it is. Peter Martin, Claremont v Ulster.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, Matt.
I saw the highlights, but I couldn't really comment other than that. But very one-sided in the second half. That's
true. Yeah, no, you're right. It was a very one-sided game. Matt, back to you. Leinster v La Rochelle. Leinster 40, La Rochelle 13. What did you think of that? Did you see
it? Look, it was great. It was a great game in so far as that Munster really got that monkey off their shoulder of not being able to beat La Rochelle convincingly in the Champions Cup. I felt sorry for La Rochelle in the second half. They just ran out of steam. They were just wrecked after fucking that performance in South Africa. You know, I think they put a lot in that game last weekend where they were 16-0 down at half time and came back in the second half. And obviously fatigue was a major factor in the second half of the Leinster match. But Jesus, fair play to the lads. Like they just fucking ground out in that first half, and they were knackered. La Rochelle came out in the second half; they were knackered, absolutely knackered. You know, and you could see it physically. And even like some of the scrums, there was the Leinster team shouldn't have even been that La Rochelle pack. It's just fucking. They're savage. They're fucking.
kgs heavier.
Big lads, yeah, and that fucking skeleton bloke. He's a fucking freak of nature. He really is. Like he fucking sized him.
Didn't get to play though, Matt. He was.
No,
Will Connors and Tyke Furlong were all over.
I tell you, Will Connors was phenomenal in that game. Every fucking tackle, and he nearly didn't even. He just jumped on fucking Skeleton's legs at any given opportunity. I don't think in several occasions he didn't even have the fucking ball.
True.
The lads, they did their homework. They had the measure of fucking La Rochelle from the start, but I think a bit lucky in the second half because of the fatigue in the La Rochelle players.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Peter Martin, Leinster v La Rochelle. What did you make of
that? Look. Heck of a performance, you know. Leinster got out of blocks, early doors, statement of intent. You know, the rush defence was outstanding, and it was just a question of La Rochelle just basically got worn out. They literally could not get any momentum. You know, Nienaber's defence has just clicked at the perfect time. That was the big risk. That was the big fear coming into the game, because let's face it, like being honest, like it was a 7 out of 10 performance against Leicester the previous week. But whatever they did, they just turned it up an extra 20% in training, and we saw what we saw. Like Baird's try was absolutely fundamental fundamental to that win, and he was outstanding.
Yep.
Like himself and Doris. Doris had the face pucked off him. You could see at the end his face at the end of the match. It's probably the only time he'll ever be happy to get black eyes is after a result like that. Like our back row had to be phenomenal against Aldrit, Bhatia, and Ken Curriet. Very, very capable back row unit, and Connors did his bit for the time he was on the pitch. Wasn't supposedly the all action tackler that he was in the wet and cold in the pool game, but massively effective in doing all the small bits and pieces around ruck defense and stopping. Still got his 8 tackles in for, I think it was 8 tackles he managed in 40, 50 odd minutes in the pitch. And of course, Josh coming off the bench, big lung busting, burst. I think that's one of the other keys, really. I think that Niamh Aber has kind of brought and kind of encouraged and influenced perhaps Cullen is basically making sure that there's powder on the bench. There's ammunition on the bench. Make sure there's real impact off the bench. And that's becoming so crucial. Coming back again to Barrett as a signing, he's a potential there as a he'll enable a 6-2 split for Leinster if he's not starting, of course. And again, that's going to be Niamh Aber influence as well. So look, fantastic win. There's nothing else to say other than roll on Northampton.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Danny Brosnan, are you still there with us? Have you fallen asleep?
Yeah, I am. I'm still here.
Leinster v La Rochelle. Did you see it? What did you make of it? Or... No.
You asked me already. I told you didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't? Sorry. Mike Reedy, did I ask you?
Absolutely outstanding from Leinster. Every aspect of the game, they completely dominated. I mean, La Rochelle scored a try just on the half time and looked as if this could be given them coming back into the game like they did in the final a couple of years ago. But Leinster just absolutely blew them off the park in the second half. They were blowing out of their arse after 10 minutes of the second half. Every aspect. Leinster fronted them up physically, completely, like Gibson Park's try off of the offload from low. Baird's try, fucking outstanding. They did everything, almost everything right. Ross Byrne had his best game for Leinster, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm still not convinced. But he actually showed something in that game, by the way, that didn't even think he had. To be honest, I was doubting he had. He had showed it earlier, a couple of years ago, maybe, but fronted him up. Joe McCarthy, outstanding again. Ryan Baird. To a man, there wasn't one player that didn't. And one of the biggest things for me was Osborne picked fucking Aldrit up, by the way, and drove him backwards.
Yes.
When you see like that happening, like a 12 picking the fucking guy that he has to be said, like he has been feared by every rugby in recent years. Aldrit has, and he got fucking made look ordinary. They were all made look ordinary, and. Do you know what? Leinster shouldn't. They don't have anybody to fear, but they still have to give
Toulouse.
Northampton, first of all, give them the respect they're due.
All right, yeah. Well, look, the due respect. Okay, give them that, grant. Okay, we'll see Toulouse in the final. Don't be getting ahead of yourself, Borky. Don't be getting ahead of yourself. Oh God. Anyway, right. Last game that was on. I'm coming back now, gentlemen. If we can be brief. Benetton 39, Connacht 24. Mike Reedy, to you first on that, and let's be brief.
Right, Connacht did nothing again. They started and done a bit. They got to 19 points. Benetton are very, very good, by the way. They're and I really hope they win that competition. I genuinely hope they win that competition, because how good would that be for Italian rugby? And to bring them on in leaps and bounds, and they're a good side. Connacht just weren't at the races again. to their credit, they got 19 points, which is more than I thought they'd get, to be honest. But.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay. Danny Brosnan, Benetton v Connacht. Okay. Peter Martin?
Didn't see it.
All right. Okay. Matt?
Didn't see it.
All right. Grand job. So we can fly through. So we've about 2 minutes. We're at 1 hour, 10 minutes. Holy fuck. Right. Matt, I'm going to you first. These are the games that are coming up next weekend. We have Ulster are entertaining Cardiff up in Ravenhill. Matt?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
That actually, I don't know. I think Cardiff could fucking nick that by a fucking score. Do you know that?
Yeah. 2 fucking shit teams going on it. Anyway. I know. I don't care. Peter Martin, Ulster v Cardiff up in Ravenhill.
We'll just wait and see if there's a reaction from Ulster. I would have honestly thought that they did a better job against Claremont.
So did I.
No, I didn't. I didn't actually. I didn't. I knew they'd fucking.
You didn't. You didn't.
I didn't put my prediction into the group because you know my predictions, but I knew it.
Anyway, it'll be just interesting to see Richie Murphy, what Richie Murphy gets out of him, a reaction, like gets a bit of fight, and thing about standards and so on. I know Ulster suffered a few injuries. I heard in the grape, I think they suffered a few injuries. They're down a number of players this week. So look, it's just basically a question, I think, of resilience. The guys who are basically going to come in. So right, here's your opportunity. There could be players leaving Ulster at the end of the season. Who's to know? Yeah. And there could be a question of some of these guys playing for their jersey and their contract.
Right, Pete. I'll give you an update here. The Ulster injuries, and gentlemen in general, the Ulster injuries are Henderson is out, Rob Herring is out, Kitsoff is out, Timoney is out, Stuart Moore is out. So there you go. Yeah,
that's 2/3 of your first choice front row, arguably.
Yeah,
I
know. All right, Danny Brosnan. Go on, your thoughts.
To be honest with you, I'm going back Cardiff for this one. I think they do it. Also, just going hot and cold. So you know, it depends on which Ulster actually bother turning up. But right now, I'll give it to Cardiff.
All right. Well, Mike Reedy.
Going on the list of players that you said are out for Ulster, I just, I hope it's Richie Murphy's first home game, and I really hope there's some kind of response for him, because he must be getting despondent at this stage. I hope.
Well, I wouldn't say despondent. He's only in there a fucking wet week.
I know he is, but Jesus, why he's seen so far. I know they had a good win away in France a week and a half ago, but I honestly hope Ulster can raise it up enough and just get any kind of result, even if they get a fucking scrape over the line.
Okay, Mike, back to you. Lions are entertaining Leinster.
Ooh. Leinster have taken a bit of a makeshift squad down there.
Yes, they have.
The Lions aren't. They showed glimpses a few weeks ago against Connacht to give Connacht a bit of a fucking doom, but I still expect Leinster to go there and fucking do a number. I really do.
Okay, Danny Brosnan.
Leinster that Lions shite squad. That Lions squad is shite. So Leinster to win that one.
Okay, Peter Martin.
Sorry, I missed that.
Lions are entertaining Leinster away.
I'd say Leinster.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I'd say Leinster by 10 or 12.
Okay, and we also have, gentlemen, Matt, back to you. We have the Women's Six Nations. I'm reading out these games in the order that they're happening. England are entertaining Ireland, Matt. That is not going to be an easy game for the Irish women.
No, that's going to be a tough day at the office for the girls, I reckon. And if they can keep England down to a bonus point win, they'd be doing well.
Okay. Sorry, Danny's just gone there. Peter Martin, Women's Six Nations, England are entertaining Ireland.
Look, I think the way it is, the girls have nothing to lose. They managed to get a fantastic win there last weekend. Danny put up a stat that they scored more points in the last game than they did in the previous campaign. So look, the green shoots are there, well-worn cliche and phrase, turn of phrase. Look, they've nothing to lose. Go out, give it a lash, and see what happens. That's enjoy it. Not sounding patronising around, but just to go out and give it a go.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, Mike Reedy, what do you think?
I think had it been played directly after the Italian game, I'd have been more concerned. But after they put in a fantastic performance on Sunday, and like Wales weren't fucking much cop, to be honest, but they were very, very good now. But England are on a completely different level to all the rest of the teams, as far as I'm concerned, and they could, like, if we stay in the game for most of the game, and give an account of ourselves, that's as much as we can expect. If we're honest, that's as much as we can genuinely expect.
Yeah, no, that's fair
not being
enough.
disrespectful to the women at all. They're getting better game on game, and I hope they give an account of themselves. I'll be happy with that.
That's a very fair comment, Mike. Yeah, a very fair comment. Danny Brosnan, Women's Six Nations, England are entertaining Ireland.
Yeah, and this game's at Twickenham as well.
Yes,
but the biggest thing about this is like a full strength Leinster squad going against a Munster AIL squad. There's that much of a gap there. It's just a question of when England get the bonus point and how much we lose by. Unfortunately, best can do is just damage limitation and playing the best game we can. That's basically it. That's how much of a difference there is.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Danny, back to you. Munster are away to the Bulls.
Yeah, considering Munster's injury list and we're away and at altitude, Bulls.
Okay, Mike Reedy.
Well, the Bulls brought a depleted side to play in the Heineken Cup in France, or in, who do they play? Northampton. So they've held back players. So it would be a shock if Munster got anything there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter Martin.
Yeah, it's basically Munster have issues with getting people fit and so on. But I think they've got Jaeger back and they've got a number of players back. So
Snyman.
Yeah, no, they've a number of players. Well, it's all in their traveling party down. So I'd be hopeful for an away win.
All right, okay, Matt Boland.
I reckon. No, I don't think Munster will do it. I think that Bulls team, they're in trouble now, aren't they? After fucking sending a half-strength squad to that.
Yeah, the EPCR are investigating. Not fucking comfort.
No, probably not. But anyway, I can imagine because they sent a depleted squad that they have plenty of players that are fucking fit and ready to go. It'll be a stay at the office for Munster.
I'll tell you. Sorry, Matt. There's
yeah.
No, sorry, we all just reset there. We all just reset there. Sorry, gents. No, I tell you, there's more money in the URC for the South African teams than there is in the Heineken Cup. That's basically it, right? Yeah. Okay, Matt, back to you. The last game, and we really have to finish because we're coming up to an hour and 20 minutes. Holy fuck. Matt, Connacht are entertaining Zebra, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in the sports ground. Matt.
I would like to see Connacht win that game. They should scrape a win. I would like to think. Zebra are not as bad as they used to be anymore by any stretch of the imagination, but I still think in the sports ground, Connacht will have the measure of them.
Okay, good stuff. Peter Martin.
Yeah, Zebra are a much better team. They play the full 80 minutes. Hard one to call, to be perfectly honest. It's a funny time of the season.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Mike
Mike Reedy. Yeah. Fair enough.
They are a funny side at the moment. They're able to score tries. They're scoring tries in every game. But I think Connacht could have a little bit too much for them there, because Connacht have a few players back now as well, and I think Connacht will beat them.
Yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Danny Brosnan.
You would, wouldn't you?
Oh, well,
I'd say Connacht legend, because they have to come back after that Benetton loss. Plus they're at home. They're going to have to get some bit of a good end to the season. They have nothing else to play for except maybe getting into the top 8 and hoping for a Champions Cup position. So I'd give it to Connacht this one.
Very generous of you. Okay, folks, we will end on a few comments. Leinster and Munster used to have seats on the IRFU committee. They're always been the power blazers in Lansdowne. Okay, fair enough. When we have a full agenda like tonight, can we not extend the show? Some of us have nothing better to do on a Wednesday night. We have extended the show by about 20 fucking minutes, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Danny looks like he's praying for
the interest rates killing Peter Burke.
I'm not.
Haven't Munster gotten a few quid out of oh Jesus Christ, there's a whole load of comments just come up. Jeez, I don't know where they all came from. Haven't Munster gotten a few quid out of JP buying the rugby experience in Limerick and giving it to the council? That's probably worth more than half dozen central contracts. Yeah, okay, yeah. Why does Frawley need Barrett with that Leinster coaching ticket?
Doesn't.
Claremont deserved it. Okay, here's something referencing you, Mike Reedy. There's a great film with Sylvester Stallone in the called Expendable. It's all about a gang of mercenaries. Just love it.
I have watched it, all of them. I've watched all 3 of them.
Lads, I had to go to the doctor. I had to go to the doctor on Monday morning because I still had a horn from being at the Leinster game beating La Rochelle. The doctor said I was the 5th lad he'd had that morning with the same head down. Oh, just shut up. It's got to be Weston. Leinster look good. Hope Boys and Blues get the 5th star. Okay. I was in Lansdowne, Gregor, when Ulster got their star, and I hope it won't be too long before they get a second. I'd say Ulster could be waiting a long time for their 2nd star. There's loads there. Okay, look, there's a few more comments there. I apologize. I cannot get to them all because we're way over time. Folks, I want to thank you all for watching and for contributing to with your comments and your opinions. You're very good. You are what makes this show happen and enjoyable for us. It's not just us talking bollocks, it's you as well. My thanks to Matt Boland, Peter Martin, Mike Reedy, and a welcome back to Danny Brosnan, although he did disappear and boil his fucking kettle, for Christ's sake. Danny, thank you.
He's boiling up the Wi-Fi.
He's boiling up the Wi-Fi. Gentlemen, listen, we'll end it there. It's 1 hour, 23 minutes and something. So we'll end it there. Gentlemen, good night. And thank you all for watching and contributing on your posts and your comments and all that. It's been very good. Gents, good night. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Come on, the mercenaries.
Take care.